Oh my God! Okay, it's happening!
You're goddamn right.
Start the damn sluice before I piss myself.
Hello everyone, welcome to the TV Swap Podcast. I am Rowan J. Coleman and with me is...
Carla.
And
James.
Lita.
This is the TV Swap Podcast. So basically what we've done is we've each recommended a TV show to the others, and we're going to take it in turns going through each show and what each other thought of it. Yeah. And I thought I'd go first. The one I recommended to you guys was a 90s sci-fi TV epic called Babylon 5, which I think is an extremely underappreciated TV show.
The Babylon Project was our last, best hope for peace. A self-contained world 5 miles long, located in neutral territory. A place of commerce and diplomacy for 250,000 humans and aliens. A shining beacon in space, all alone in the night. It was the dawn of the third age of mankind, the year the Great War came upon us all. This is the story of the last of the Babylon stations. The year is 2259. The name of the place is Babylon 5.
And the episode we watched was Season 2, Episode 1, rather than the very first episode. And I have my reasons for choosing that.
That makes so much more sense.
Oh,
to
did
me.
you not know? Okay, well, okay.
He put the link!
I put the link. Yeah.
No, I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched it. Because I was like, wow, they've jumped straight into all this story stuff. Oh my god, this is so
I
overwhelming.
thought you were going to say you started at season 1, episode 1.
No. I watched that one.
Well, yeah, the reason I
that
chose...
makes so much... I was genuinely like, what? They're like, it's like 10 seconds in and they've just thrown like all this information at me. Like.
So the reason I chose to start in season 2 rather than season 1 is because while the very first episode is good, it's very sort of matter of fact and sort of thing of the week. Whereas season 2, because Babylon 5's thing is that it's very much about serialized storytelling and multiple episodes kind of paying off later down the line and things like that. And while season 1 is like a simple... The first episode of season 1 is like a simple, like, there's pirates up to no good and we need to stop them kind of thing. Season 2 gives you a better idea of, like, lots of stuff has happened before and it implies a lot of stuff happening in the future kind of thing, which is why I went with that. Yeah. So, in general, what did you guys think of Babylon 5?
Will we go round the table?
Yeah, if we go Callum first.
Yeah, I've got I got some stuff to say.
So, in general, did you like it or did you not like it?
I feel like I didn't do a good job.
I don't know, I had mixed feelings because I went in, like, because I've never watched Star Trek and kind of avoided all the sci-fi kind of stuff because, like, it just not interested me. But I thought, you know, since you suggested Babylon 5, this is a good way to kind of get into it. And it kind of was everything I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought, like, if I watched...
In a good or bad way?
Like, I was like, okay, this is going to be, like, Babylon 5. First thing was, like, there's going to be spaceships, aliens... a ship captain, he's going to have like a female sidekick thing, and I'm assuming they're going to have a thing later on, and it has like aliens with weird faces in it. So it kind of hit all those points I thought it was going to. Like, yeah, it makes so much more sense that was
correction, the
season 2.
captain and that particular woman don't have a thing.
Oh, okay, right, that's fine, that's fine. I didn't like the captain too much.
Why didn't you like the captain?
Because he came across as very like... America. Like, this is it's like we are human and also American, and I'm going to talk about Abraham Lincoln for some reason, and I'm totally right, and I murdered a bunch of people, which I thought gave him a bit of an edge to the character, the whole Star Killer thing. But he just seems so chipper and just like really happy.
That is one of the reasons I kind of like Commander Sheridan actually, is because he's such a kind of doofus. Where he's so smiley and he's so like southern, and he has all these like homespun wisdom kind of attitude to him, which I think is to me quite endearing. I found his sort of goofiness quite funny and charming.
I don't know, like it rubbed me the wrong kind of way. Like I think it's like I've seen the like that kind of captain all the time in these kind of things, and it just is one of the things that put me off of it.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, James? Did you like it in general or not?
I did like it in general. It's got a good universe, and it's got a lot of things going for it. You've got the president just being assassinated, or assassinated,
Yeah.
In quotations. You got a new captain just coming in. You're able to kind of jump into it with him in the second season. I don't even know if I should watch the first season or...
You can. There was some good stuff in the first season, definitely.
But the one thing about it is I wish there was a bit more with more the civilian side, at least, and there may be in the future. It's just that, as Callum was saying, it's quite the samey in terms of it's all on deck, if you know what I mean. It's all the militaristic side. You don't get quite how the rest of the ship's operating in that first episode. I mean, and this is just from one episode.
Yeah.
So, I know the fact that
Yeah.
it will jump to these other parts.
Yeah, because that particular episode, because I mentioned this to you before, where like half of the supporting cast, that's the regular cast of that show, isn't in that episode. Because there's the other two characters, Jakar and Malari, who are like ambassadors for different alien factions and all that kind of thing. They're not in that episode. And the security chief Garibaldi's in a coma, and like tons of these other characters who were like really important in the show aren't in that episode. So when you talk about like the civilian life and that kind of side of it and things, in the rest of the show, there are numerous other episodes and things where you get a look at the full universe and you kind of understand the full scope of it that way.
See, that's good. I also appreciate the fact that it was very Mass Effect. I mean, me and you watched it together, and afterwards one of the things I did say was, it kind of reminds me of the Mass Effect with the whole darkness angle. We need to band together. Very much, and you were saying, probably inspired it quite a bit.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Yeah,
down.
that's what I had on it as well, and I'm just like...
Yeah, there's definitely a Babylon 5 fan on the Mass Effect writing team. Or was at least.
Oh yeah, there has to be a link there.
I like the fact that the good guys are the weaker side as well.
Yeah.
I like that. It's just a nice edge to it, and the whole fact that, they could have just wiped them all out, wiped Earth out, but, something happens. They obviously give an explanation, but they're like, is it that explanation or not? But, it's still a good... It's a good universe.
There's dimension to it. There's new ones.
And I really appreciate that. So I did like it. Yeah, it was good. Although it wasn't something where I thrust myself straight into and like a whole season of it. I think currently me and you're watching Battlestar
Galactica, yeah.
And I'm really, really enjoying that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could do two at once.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
You got to do like them separately because they get heavy, and especially with Babylon 5s and its story arcs and all that kind of stuff does get complicated. So to watch both at the same time, you can wait. You can finish Battlestar Galactica, and then I'll force you into Babylon 5.
Yeah. Well,
what about you, Slade? How did you think of it in general?
I wasn't a fan.
You're not a fan?
No. Because to me, like, sci-fi, it kind of, they're all pick up on the same bit, like on a ship in space, that, bad guys, militant. It's just like, I want something different. So when it comes to sci-fis, I'm really judgmental when it comes to them.
Because I can't remember, because I've watched Star Trek in your presence. I can't remember if you're a fan or not, or if you like it in general.
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with Star Trek? Okay.
It's not really something I would be like, oh yeah, I need to watch. I'm more crime dramas.
Yeah.
That's where I go. It's like The Staircase. That's what I watch and get really into. So when it comes to like sci-fi stuff like that, I'm more on like with TV shows the real side. So like.
There was a bit I remember, like, I think it's like near the end of the episode where like the captain's telling the girl, I don't know their names, so I'm sorry.
Sorry,
but like he goes
Sheridan talking to Ivanova. Yeah.
It becomes so over the top sci-fi at this one bit, and it got me. It's like,
which bit?
He basically he's wanting to send a message to the ships without the other ships kind of being able to read the thing. So there's like, I swear to God, it's like 2 minutes straight of, can you neurotransmit the septic
just throw all of these words
capacity, Newton's law, and it was like, just say, can you send a message? It was like 2 minutes of just straight sci-fi babble.
He uses the laser to transmit a signal through the jump gate.
That's-
That's what he does.
Just like,
I love
can
how
you
Ron
send
has
this?
to correct you there. He is a fan.
Like, I think it does.
I mean, because I'm hip deep in all this like sci-fi
Yeah.
stuff. Of techno-babbly bullshit, that is incredibly simple.
See, that's what puts me
Yeah.
off it, because like it was just that one bit. It was like, could you just say you want to send a message? Like, that, like, it didn't have to be that ingrained, but like I think also like this is coming from watching from like 2019, not to do this, but coming from 2019 and then watching something that was like mid to late 90s
Oh,
as well.
probably
Is a very
definitely
big
was
factor
like
as well.
good. When
That's
it was
another
released.
question.
That's the thing. Like we're watching in 2019.
that's another general
so
question
many other
that I was gonna
sci-fis
ask.
have came out that have probably based or got some stuff
That's
from
that's
this
another
TV
general
show.
question I wanted to ask was, production value wise, could you put up with it? Because
Yes.
it is very dated.
Again, I
Like,
want to
Well,
go
yeah.
back to that because it was like when I think old sci-fi, like that's like I've watched maybe or seen like snippets of Star Trek, and that's exactly what I thought when I went to see Babylon 5, and then I watched it, and it was that kind of same set, those kind of same camera angles. I did like it's one of the beginning scenes where the captain and what's her face, which will be their
Yvonne.
names.
The
They're
Captain
walking
for
down-
all of the fans out there.
Captain
Gonna give you,
Sheridan
like-
and Susan Ivanova. Yeah.
Actually, I think you'll find it was.
Yeah, like
That'd be
death.
slight.
If this goes on Rowan's channel, this is death threats getting
Yeah.
sent to you, mate.
I'm sorry.
So there's that scene where he's like, they're just walking down the hallway, and you're just seeing like everything else happen in the background,
Oh.
and I really like
Fucking
that.
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That scene was so funny because if
What
you look
scene?
in the background when they're walking down the hallway,
Yeah.
because they're walking so slowly, the guy behind them as to what he's like. If you look just at him, because there's two people, they have they come out of the elevator, they have a conversation. And then the woman goes away, and the guy's walking so slowly
See, this
because
is
the
when I
people
have
in
to go
front.
back and watch this just to see like that now.
It's good crack. It's
Yeah.
good crack. It's because I'm like, where are you going?
What are you doing,
what
dude?
is it even worth going there if you're walking that slowly? Sorry.
But like in general, because like for the time, like the CGI was revolutionary because the contemporaries were Star Trek and Stargate and things like that, and they were using lots of models and things like that. Especially Star Trek and Deep Space Nine were using models and things like that, and very very limited CGI. And Babylon 5, because of how limited the budget was, they decided to go fully CGI because they could make CGI and visual effect shots a lot faster just going purely CGI. So even though it was revolutionary, even for the time, if you compare the visual effects of Deep Space Nine, which is a Star Trek show that was like kind of competing with it, to Babylon 5, Deep Space Nine holds up a hell of a lot better. Like there's no contest between them at all. That Deep Space Nine holds up so much better, and Babylon 5 CGI is like very very dated. You know, and also like in terms of like the general production value and the sets and the production design, all that kind of stuff, it is very very 90s. Because I remember something that made you, James, laugh is when the intro came up and it did like the whole like starring Bruce Bucks, like who's this guy?
It's like if we're doing a parody of a 90s show in 2019, that's the format we would use to make fun of it.
Because you don't see those intros anymore.
No, you
at
don't,
all, no.
unless it's a parody.
Yeah.
But I loved it because of that. It was very charming. But yeah, some of the shots look like end of PlayStation 1, like AAA game cutscene level, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. But I was fine. I was able to, you know, cast that aside for the most part. It's when you said that there's some human CGI or alien CGI.
In general, the spaceships are all right because
Yeah.
they're metal and
Big
you know
clunky, fucking
clunky
things,
shapes are
For
kind
that
of,
time as well.
yeah, are quite
Yeah,
are quite
okay.
easy to do computer wise. But it's whenever they have to animate like a creature or a person or something, then it goes real janky because they just didn't know how to do it. They just didn't have the technology at the time to do that properly. Because it's like it's one of the reasons like the Star Wars prequel CGI looks so weird. It's like generally the spaceships and things hold up, but whenever they have creatures, because there's so many complex like moving parts for organic things that when you don't have it 100% right, then it just looks bizarre.
They didn't have that Disney money or the technology.
No. Yeah, because that's the thing about Babylon 5 and why it's kind of underappreciated is that even though it's a very, very well-regarded show, like it won several big awards and like Hugo Awards and bet Star Trek several years for certain awards and things like that, which is a big thing. And like critically, it's very, very well appreciated, and like it's got an extremely dedicated fan base for it. But because it was on the Primetime Entertainment Network, which ended up being shut down during the course of that show, and because it didn't really have the backing of like a major studio, even though Warner Brothers was like the top dog, they didn't really care about it that much. And because it had a cheaper budget and things like that, it's sort of been relatively forgotten, and not a whole lot of people like kind of know about it anymore.
Niche fan base, yeah.
Yeah, very, very niche, yeah. But the thing about Babylon 5, which I find like incredibly rewarding, is that it's a show which was like really, really ahead of its time. Because at the time in the 90s, it was very episodic TV.
I thought you were going to say because it was set 500 years ago.
Yeah, only 300 years though.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm going to get more death threats now.
It might be 200 years actually. I should probably double check that. I'm trying to remember the dates that they put at the beginning, but
Babylon fans are going to you're going to piss off all three of them.
Rowan's going to have to cut out this entire segment just to cover his own ass.
I'll just like bleep in like it's set in the 23rd century. I think it's the 23rd century, but Babylon 5, however, instead of being episodic, because Star Trek The Next Generation stuff at the time was like, we've encountered an anomaly, or we've encountered a thing, and it's like a problem for that episode, and then it goes away. Whereas Babylon 5 was like, it depended on the long-running story arcs, and why it's quite difficult to fully grasp with just one episode.
Well, that's a good thing you mentioned there, is like, because I got that sense, by the end of the first episode, although it wasn't really my thing, I did kind of want to see how it played out.
Yeah.
Because like there was a bit where like the alien people who are
were they boneheads?
I think I wrote it down.
Have you got it on your notes?
Shut up.
Did they have boneheads?
Like is it Minbari?
Minbari, yeah. There you go.
So close.
Yeah.
They talk about like there's that big reveal where it's like all our souls were trapped in like
They were
human
being
people.
reborn in human bodies.
Yeah, and then like. They wrapped it up in the end, which I was happy about, but it just seemed like they were just like, yeah, sure, like, we're not going to question souls, like, does that mean there's a god, an afterlife? Why is no one, this is the biggest reveal of all time? Why is no one questioning this? But then, like, at the end, they kind of wrapped up with, like, but do we believe this, which was, which made more sense then.
Because there's, that is actually the payoff to a story arc in season 1.
See, that's more...
Yeah.
Makes me curious about the first episode.
But it also factors in to a story arc which is paid off in season 3. So like, it's sort of like the middle chapter in like two different intersecting story arcs. Because in the first series, it's a different commander for the station called Sinclair, who they keep referencing throughout the episode, and basically. He was the one that was like kidnapped in the Battle of the Line, and they scan him and all that kind of stuff and find out what's going on. And he's the protagonist for the first season. And there's all this mystery of like people keep trying to kidnap him and like trying to find shit out about him and all this kind of stuff. And he's got this like gap in his memory and all this kind of stuff. And there's all this mystery, which is paid off in the first episode of this season, which is why the big reveal is of human souls and all that kind of sharing souls and all that kind of stuff. But then that intersects a two-parter in season 3 where they travel back in time with a different space station and involve themselves in different war and all this kind of stuff. But like Babylon 5 is incredibly rewarding to watch because you'll watch like standalone episodes which appear to be Monster of the Week kind of things. And then like 10 episodes in, something will appear from a previous episode out of nowhere and like set up like a major conflict coming in the future, and you're like, oh, holy shit, like I didn't see that coming at all, and things will just like recur until finally you sort of piece together what the main kind of story arc of the show is going to be. And so you get these kind of vast like rise and falls of different empires and wars and all this kind of stuff, and like characters switching sides and becoming friends and then enemies and all this kind of stuff. And it's like a huge it's like basically a television novel is what the showrunner was trying to accomplish with all these intersecting storylines and things. So it's one of those things where it's kind of greater than the sum of its parts, because even though the production value is wonky and the visual effects and things don't really hold up after a while, it's like as a whole watching experience, it's a brilliant show. because it's very much ahead of its time, and it's kind of.
I mean, has there
different
ever
to a lot
been
of other
like a call to maybe like reboot it or redo it?
Well, that's the thing,
or-
because the showrunner is a guy called J. Michael Straczynski, who also co-created the TV show
It's like a
Sense8.
human encyclopedia.
Yeah, but J. Michael.
He is really
He
selling
doesn't
it
want
to
those
us.
death threats. Okay?
I mean, he's putting us in cages, fucking shipping us off to Babylon 5 here.
But like the creator of the show, he owns the movie rights, and he's been talking. There was also like 3 other spin-offs that all failed, but he owns the movie rights, and he's been talking about doing like a movie version of it for ages, which I don't really think is going to work or going to happen anytime soon.
It seemed like a show
Too much
that needed
content.
because even that first episode I watched, like I kind of like, although there was I do feel like there was just a lot of stuff thrown at you, but I would have liked, I don't know, like it felt like maybe the pacing could have been made a bit better, like.
It will be like slower, or faster.
A bit slower, just so people can grasp stuff. But again, I didn't realize that was the first episode of season 2.
Yeah, I was
See
gonna say.
if like maybe my opinion would be different if I had known that beforehand.
Yeah.
Except it got sprung on me right now.
Okay, the question, the big one. Rowan, to you first of all, how would you sell Babylon 5 to people who haven't seen it before in 2-3 sentences?
It's sci-fi's Game of Thrones. It's absolutely, because I mean both shows actually have the similar setups of like all these factions that are fighting among each other and bickering among each other, all the while a much larger existential threat is rising in the background, kind of thing.
Okay.
And so it's got a similar setup that way, and it's just.
I must have missed the first 10 sex scenes then.
It's not hard. It's
We'll
not
get to the sex scenes later on, boys. We'll get to the sex scenes later on.
Yeah.
The
But, like,
Spartacus special.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, jumping ahead. Yeah, but it's not R-rated, of course. But in terms of like, and doesn't have the same production values. But in terms of like the quality of writing and the kind of the way the story unfolds, it's very much like Game of Thrones. And I think if Babylon 5 had like the backing of a major studio and aired on like a proper network and had a more significant budget, a lot more people would like remember it and remember it fondly. And I actually think it'd be a perfect show to reboot for 2019. I think if you redid it, because as well it's like 20 episodes a season, and I think if you condensed it to like 10 episodes a season, you made it purely like only story arc, because people are more used to that now, it could be just a fantastic show and truly be like what Game of Thrones did to fantasy, Babylon 5 could do to science fiction on TV.
Okay.
That's what I think anyway.
Callum, your thoughts, your ending thoughts on Babylon 5?
Would you watch more?
You know what? Like, I think I would. Like, it's not something that really I feel like is for me, but I am kind of curious to see how it goes. Like, it's a show that I did, because I wrote it like the first bit, like again we talked about Mass Effect a bit, like I generally felt like, I wrote down like, I feel like it needed like a little Mass Effect codex, like just like something to give you, oh these are these people, these are that, because I felt like there was a lot of information thrown at me, like even like out with it being season 2, but I do want to see where it goes, like I'm curious about it, so yeah, I'd probably give it another watch. Like,
well, I mean, I have the DVD box set, so you can come over.
It's a verbal contract now, Callum.
What about you, James? Would you watch more?
I would watch more
Once you finish Battlestar Galactica.
but later down the line.
Yeah.
I'm not wanting to get into too much sci-fi jargon just now. I can only take one sci-fi show at one time.
Battlestar Galactica is more than filling for right now.
And I feel like my brain would just fucking explode. Like, quite honestly. I want to know what the darkness is. I want to know if it's interesting as a villain. And I want to see some conflict getting there. And I want to, I want it to be good, and and when you say it's Game of Thrones but sci-fi, that's setting a big fucking bar.
I know.
And it's one in which I'm gonna be judging when I do watch the rest of this. And well, I don't know if you viewers know, but I am Rowan's roommate, so I will be able to judge it next to Rowan.
Yeah.
But yeah, later down the line, a couple of months maybe.
Yeah.
But right now, no.
Fair enough. What about you, Slater? Would you
continue watching it?
Yeah.
No, I'm
not a fan?
No, I'm
No.
not a sci-fi fan on that, because it's like Callum was saying, like you go into when you're not a sci-fi fan with like almost what is going to happen, like, oh, this is going to be in a sci-fi, this is going to be it, and it's like, it hits those, and it's just like, yeah.
It's one of those things as well, because Babylon 5 is quite influential. It's one of those
Yeah,
things
exactly.
where a lot of people have copied it.
Yeah.
And so by the time you get back around to the
rewatching
original,
it now,
it
when
seems
I did, it's like the other
almost
way to
formulaic.
me.
Yeah.
Whereas if, like, say, I was to watch it back when it was originally out, probably would have different ideas on the show.
It's the John Carter problem, I call.
Yeah.
It's like, because it inspires so many things that by the
Like,
time you
it
watch it,
is
it
good,
seems
but
to
it's
be-
just because
I
of, like, the
agree with that,
sci-fis I have watched, to me it's just like me watching Babylon 5 after them. It's, it's
because there's so many things, because like Battlestar Galactica took a huge cues from it, and Mass Effect took huge cues from it. The Expanse, which is another great show on right now, also took some cues from it. So like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got two tentative maybes.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that.
I would say I'm leaning more towards yes than no right now, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Okay. Well, that was Babylon 5 then. So we should move on to Callum's show.
Weird and Wonderful.
What is your show, Callum?
My show is Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
Perhaps every day before now has, for the most part, been humdrum and inane. Your life a mundane, unvarying slog through unfulfilling jobs, shallow depression, and boring sex. Suddenly, today, everything changed.
Did you see an animal? Said they found paw prints. Like a dog? No. Also, you're fired.
Hi, my name is Dirk Gently. I'm a detective.
You don't look like a private detective.
Well, no private detective looks like a private detective. That's one of the first rules of private detection.
But yeah, so the first episode.
So if you were to describe what it's about.
It's a hard one to describe.
It is an odd show, yeah.
It's a hard one to describe because it was made by the guy who made Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So basically,
based on books he wrote,
the book,
the Douglas Adams wrote,
yeah, that's the name. I keep forgetting his name for some reason. My friend's gonna kill me because he absolutely loves him. So basically, it's about this guy called Dirk Gently who tries to solve cases holistically by literally just kind of wandering around and letting the universe at large guide him to stuff, and like just to solve it by just tottering around. So he bumps into Elijah Wood, who is like basically just some bellboy in a hotel, and his life's just going to hell. And then he gets roped into this like crazy murder mystery where there's like a cult and there's like a gun that shoots sharks, and yeah, it's really good. I don't have as much information as Babylon 5, sadly.
You need to get your encyclopedic knowledge,
Yeah, no, sadly I didn't come in with that. I haven't got a big sell for it, sadly, because it is the wackiest, craziest show. Like, when I first watched it, I didn't get into it because the first episode is just very weird and very wonderful. And I also was like very high when I watched it the first time, which I don't recommend at all.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do them. Cut that.
Not endorsing.
But yeah, so what did you guys think, really?
Well, me, I rather enjoyed it. I've actually seen the first season already, so.
Also, you've already.
So I'm already familiar with it, but yeah, I think it's a great show. I think it is the weirdest fucking batshit thing ever, but it totally captures the kind of the style of Douglas Adams in its overall writing. I understand why some people could be put off by it, because it is so bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, especially in that first episode where nobody knows what's happening, and like most of the first season is nobody really knows what's happening.
Lots happening.
Yeah, like I think if you go in accepting that you're not going to understand a lot of it, which is a massive put off for a lot of people, because I was like that the first time I watched it as well. I was like, I don't get this, and then I think it actually took me a third try to actually watch it, and then once I got past kind of just accepting this is going to be a strange show, and then from then it was great, but also wondering, was there any characters that grated against you? Because I have to admit, I didn't like Dirk Gently when I first
He does annoy me sometimes.
Yeah.
I do find him. Well, that's why Elijah Wood's character is there as the sort of the everyman who calls out Dirk Gently for
the kind
his
of grounding force.
Bullshit, when he does. But Dirk Gently does sometimes come off as kind of Tumblr bait.
He is that very I'm the kooky British guy because remember David Tennant and Doctor Who, everyone.
Yeah. He does rub me that way sometimes. But overall, I do think the actor playing him does a great performance. And they do very interesting things with him throughout the show. And you get little hints of kind of nuance with his kind of past with the CIA and things like that, and his sort of mental and social problems that he's kind of struggling with.
Yeah, there's a depth to them as well. There's a depth to all the characters, which I didn't expect when I first watched it. I thought it was going to be very, like on the surface, like oh, he's wacky, or oh, they're just grumpy. But then like it does go deeper into like who these people are and why they are the way they are as well.
Yeah. So I thought I like it. I thought it was good overall. Yeah.
Yay! Vindication.
No, I really liked it. I liked the editing of it. I don't know why, but I kept getting like a Scott Pilgrim vibe with like some of the scenes.
That's interesting.
And that's where I was just like, I actually really liked it, especially with I can't remember his name. I know it's the title of the show.
Dirk Gently.
Yeah.
It's like Captain. What's her name?
I can't. My brain computing. But no, I don't know why, but he reminded me of Scott Pilgrim at times, like you said, almost that quirkiness. When I was watching it, I was just like that. The scene in Scott Pilgrim where he like falls through the window. It's just like that kept coming up. I don't know why, but it just the style of it reminded me of that, the quirkiness, everything. It was like kind of like really upbeat.
Yeah, like even the crazy
everything was
bits
moving.
It's like
the elevator opens, he sees someone looks exactly like them, and then they run away. It's just like stuff like that.
There's a bit of a mind fuck with like even the first episode. Like there's a bit where like Elijah Wood's character goes up in the elevator, stops off, and then sees himself.
In like a fur coat.
And then they just
he's got like a black eye.
Yeah, and it's also like the detectives when they're like looking at the crime scene. And the guy's
bites
like,
on the ceiling.
There are several bite marks on the ceiling.
They're like trying to fathom it. Yeah.
No,
I really liked it. It's definitely something I would.
Continue watching it.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good call to mystery. The first episode, you've got a good kind of how did this happen, and you know it's going to come back up. What's the cat got to do with it? It's the only living thing in the room at the end of this. That's still kicking around 5 minutes later, or whatever it is, in the penthouse. And people have been bitten in half, and everything. Bite marks in the ceiling, scorch marks. All these kind of things. And it could have gone, because I've seen it before as well, it could have gone either way for me, because as you guys were saying, the whole Tumblr thing, it could have put me off, absolutely, but there was enough there where I was like, I can get past that, and I'll continue watching it and see where it goes. And I'm glad I did. It's a wonderful kind of mystery, sci-fi amalgamation with these weird characters, one of which my favorite is the assassin, who's just this drunken mess of a woman who just goes around and kills people that the universe tells her to kill, and it's right, and she makes every shot basically. It rebounds and everything.
It's like perfect luck where people try to shoot her and it doesn't work, and then she cuts their head off using like a plate or something like that.
I love that character, man. She's like, it's loads of different characters, and they just all have their own different spices and colors. Dirk Gently does get on my tits a bit, but at the same time, as you guys said, there's more depth to him after a bit. Overall, it's a good first episode that really gets you into it, and then it just follows on from there, and it just escalates. Snowball effect.
I don't think there's like even characters that I thought were throwaway characters. The whole thing with Dirk Gently is that everything is there for a reason. There's a place for everything. The universe at large is all interconnecting and stuff, and you see that through crazy characters. I thought the Rowdy Three, which are just
who are four bulbs,
4 guys who just smash up everything they go to. I just thought that was just going to be a weird kooky here's this thing, and it's just going to be a comedy thing. But then even they have a deeper thing way later on, and even going into the second season as well. It's just it's a really good show.
Because something that I was going to bring up, which I don't know if you know this, but the BBC did have an earlier version of this show.
I was aware, but I didn't want to watch it
because it was only 4 episodes. It was just called Dirk Gently, and it was more episodic. And it was Stephen Mangan who played Dirk Gently. Do you know Stephen Mangan?
No.
He's one of those typical BBC actors where if you see him, you'll recognise him. Have you seen the show Episodes? That's another great show.
Am I allowed to Google?
You can Google, yeah. But Stephen Mangan played Dirk Gently, and it was I can't remember who played his like sidekick, but that it was only 4 episodes. I didn't think it did too well as a show. Not a lot of people watched it.
Is it the husband in episodes?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And but it's a lot different from.
Oh my god, that is the most accurate description you've ever
Typical
made.
BBC man.
He's that BBC guy you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's in tons of shows and on chat shows like all the time. But it's a very, very different show to the one that's on Netflix. Because it's much more British in a way. You know, it's like much more low key and lower budget and things like that. But it does sort of have that bizarre charm to it, of the Douglas Adams charm, because the sort of the difference in in both shows is like the holistic detective agency ones on Netflix is like they're always kind of going somewhere and doing something and blundering into something that is like, you know, they're always kind of blundering into something and then putting the piece together kind of later. But in the original show, the original adaptation of it, they did a different thing where it was like they'd investigate what appears to be a perfectly ordinary case of like someone's cat is missing or someone's, you know, been disappeared or whatever kind of thing. And they investigate like a perfectly ordinary case. There's no bite marks on the ceiling and no, you know, people with animal brains and all that kind of stuff. There's none of that in it. But then, yeah, because he takes on like 2 or 3 cases at once. One's like, you know, a cat's gone missing. One's like a bloke's gone missing. One's like something's been stolen. And then he puts them all together with like a ridiculous batshit theory, where he's like, you know, because I think in the first episode, one's like this woman's cat's gone missing, and like this guy who had like unrequited love with someone else who lives nearby, kind of thing. And then he invents like a thing where he's like, and you know, this night Steve returned to his garage and built a time machine, like out of nowhere, and everyone's like, what? And he like constructs this like batshit thing to make all the cases fit together because of his holistic approach to everything, where he's like, they have to all be connected. So he creates like the most ridiculous ideas and thoughts, and it's kind of like he's either brilliant or he's a nutcase. And it's kind of like this funny space that they fit into of like, there's just enough to imply that he's actually correct, but there's also just enough to imply that he's just talking shit. Is it bonkers, you know?
Is it worth a watch?
It's absolutely worth a watch. It's only 4 episodes, you know.
Yeah.
But it's very, very different to the one that's on Netflix one. But it's totally worth watching.
See, I think like with the first season of the Netflix one as well, like I think it's perfect because by the time you finished it, like I do think there's a little bit of exhaustion because it's like it's very, we're good doing this now and there's this, but this thing's connected to this thing. So when you do finish it, like I do think it's quite a perfect season, and like when you finish it, you can have more if you want. Like, maybe only one more season.
But only one more serving.
Yeah.
Not much.
You can have the McFlurry after the 20-piece McNuggets if you want.
But then the machine will break.
Yeah. But it ends and there's like, it just feels like there's a satisfying ending to it. And like season 2, I don't know what happened and why it stopped. Like, I mean,
I think it was just ratings.
I think it was just ratings, which is a shame because like if watch season 1, I would say is my biggest suggestion because I think it's just an incredible show, and like although it's wacky and weird and like there's all this crazy shit that happens, like it's also got like I think a decent message of like that just is life in a lot of ways. Like you do stumble into things and just meet random person, which leads to this thing and that thing, and then. Yeah,
I really like it. I mean, if you were to ask me the question of would I watch more...
Oh, sorry, yeah. I'm not really the host, I'm kind of just the guy who cracks jokes.
Currently you are the host, but you've been kind of hitchhiking on Rowan's...
Sorry, it's fine. Riding his coattails here. So Rowan...
Yes, Colin.
Rowan of the Rowan J. Coleman YouTube channel and other fame. And other good things. Would you watch Dirk Gently?
Indeed, I would. I mean, I've already seen the first season, and I will get around to seeing the second season when I'm in the mood for that kind of thing.
I would definitely... The second season is very good at points, but it breaks your heart knowing that, because it is just a setup to more that never comes.
But I can see why it didn't get huge ratings, because it is such a specific kind of thing, because not only is it totally strange and wacky and bizarre, but it's also extremely violent.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of gore and violence and stuff in it as well.
I guess there is, actually.
Yeah.
Cal was just like, I didn't even know this.
Just like, everyone's so kooky, you kind of forget it.
There's a lot of heads getting blown off and people getting cut in half and all that kind of stuff. So, like, I do see why not a lot of people originally gravitated towards it. But if you sort of settle into its vibe and go along with it, it's a really, really fun show to watch.
My answer is yes. Just because I like that stuff, like where everything's like, it's just like this to this, and it's just like jumping around, and then those two detectives eyebrow race.
Oh yeah, those are great.
I just loved them for that. That was really funny. It's just like that wackiness, essentially.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that's two for two.
Yes.
And
James, you're gonna break.
Have you seen it before?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. I've seen it all, mate.
Oh right. Okay. Awesome.
So that's your.
Got it.
Yeah. So I've already seen both seasons.
But would you watch the original show?
I mean, I'll maybe give it a watch. I mean, this isn't really about that, but yeah. I mean, I'm curious.
Babylon 5 all over.
It's something. It's a wee bit tedious to get into, but once you're in it, you can kind of relax and just go along for the ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of settling in, isn't it? And then just kind of accepting like this is what it is, and then then
rolling with it.
Yeah.
Go with it. Okay.
So what's next on
Very
the
good.
agenda?
Next is Salita's show,
Spartacus.
Spartacus.
So or as I called it, Paul Spartmalcock.
How many men would you kill to hold your wife again?
I would kill them all.
Fight for me. Climb to the pinnacle, and I will help to reunite you.
Gladiator does not fear death. He embraces it. Your name, your life, is what we decide.
Gladiators. Barca became the beast of Carthage. He stands a legend. What are you then?
Crixus! The champion of Capua!
I'm the greatest of my kind.
Gladiators' virtues extend well beyond the sands of the arena. As lovers, they're said to be ravenous beasts.
Make him do it again.
They cheer for blood. And they shall have it. So believed in the gods. And the Romans took her. Not one descended from the heavens to intervene. I shall correct that mistake presently.
So how would you describe Spartacus?
Like a live action comic book. I love just mainly for the effects with the blood and the fight scenes, the slow motion.
Yeah.
It is like your.
If you have to give like a story summary, a premise for listeners.
Literally
all right.
I was going to say it's like
just step down. Step down.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
I was going to say like it is kind of like that atypical action where it's just like Spartacus, slaves, gladiators. It's like there's one main person that's like, we must be free, and it's like goes along that plot. Obviously there's other things that happen. There's good character development. You get to know like all of them quite well, and like especially but like no
especially
please do continue.
Especially
yeah, elaborate.
I missed that guy.
And no, because it goes on for so many seasons, like you get quite attached to the characters, and obviously the main actor for Spartacus was diagnosed, I believe
leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Sorry.
So when you get like a good couple of seasons in, the main actor
he
changes,
switches.
and
It's,
like,
season 1 to season 2, it's different.
He switches actors because unfortunately the first one passed away between.
It's damn shame.
But he was really good. But he did he not vet like the?
He basically gave him the thumbs up. Like
it was just like you're gonna be good, and it was like it was, but like. When it comes to that, it's like there's a change in the actual...
Does get time to get used to it, yeah.
But no, it's definitely like that atypical action, fight scene, slow motion, really
very
good special...
300,
Yeah, like really good special effects for the fighting. It's like, it was really gory.
I'll wait for my turn.
Like, I really enjoyed it, obviously, like, Rowan was the one that got me into it, when, like, in halls, and it was just like, we're all going to sit and watch this, and we did, and we loved it, and it's just, like, it's something that's always stuck by, but, like, no, it's that, like, it's good, but it's got, like, that typical action storyline.
Because, I mean, I love it, personally. I think it is so ridiculous and melodramatic and over the top, and it's just pure excess of like blood and gore and sex
It's
and
like
all
the
that
way
kind of
that,
stuff.
like, especially edits some fight scenes with the slow motion
Yeah,
blood coming out. Yeah.
And they even have like sex scenes during fight scenes and gore and all that kind of stuff. And it's like
get creative.
Yeah, and all the actors and all the dialogue and stuff. It's such needlessly flowery dialogue and all this kind of stuff where he says like things like. Because I remember when me and James rewatched it, and it was that first. There's a line in one of the first scenes.
Speak out of tongue, but the truth, or something.
He's like, he speaks out of line, but the truth falls from his mouth.
Yeah.
Very philosophical, some of the lines that come out.
But only some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are just wacky.
And all the actors are just sort of like, to hold you in my arms again, and all these kinds of things. And it's like, it's totally over the top. But it's kind of why I love it, because it's what makes it so fun.
It's done well, though, at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, you can have all the over dramatics, but you could do it wrong and then miss the mark.
Yeah, because it's sincere is the key, is that it actually goes for it. It's like, it gives it 110%. If it sort of went halfway
I would
and
say
didn't commit to it.
5,000%. This was the wildest thing I've ever watched in my life.
But it's so good. It is really good.
Like, I'll wait till, like, unless you want me to start.
No, go for it. Because you've got thoughts. You've got notes.
He's got the notes out.
Pages. How many pages do you have there?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, they're double-sided as well.
Oh, hold on.
Some of
These
them
two
are.
are Terrace House.
Oh,
Yes.
So,
Spartacus. Wow. Okay. So, there was a lot in this show.
Yeah.
Like, every scene had something. So, I'm not going to go through bit by bit, but I will go through most of...
Several bits, yeah.
There was a lot in everything, right? So, obviously, the show starts off, like... My god, the intro was like so quick. Like you don't even have a chance to click the skip intro button because it's like Spartacus, and then we're immediately into the show.
Yeah.
So there's like start off main characters chained under like this massive Colosseum thing, and then it does this weird zoom out, and like I've just like written down, oh god, the graphics, because like in my head I'm like. I just watched Babylon 5, right? And that was like the early 90s. And in my head, I'm like, this is 2010. What excuse do you have here? Like, this is worse than the PlayStation 1. Like, a cheap game on the PlayStation 1.
I wouldn't quite go that far.
It kind of took me out. I was like, I've checked and I was like, I've gone on 50 minutes of this. That's the first thing that came to me. I was like, I can't do this. But then they had the blood splatter stuff, and the blood was it was very comic booky.
Yes.
I really did like it. Brought me back a bit, and I was like, okay, maybe this has got a bit of something. Because like my issue with like kind of the Roman stuff is that it kind of has like it's like the sci-fi thing for me. There's always like XYZ. There's always
not
like
your kind of genre.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's always like a plot against like the emperor. There's always like a guy who gets trapped and has to fight in the Colosseum. And there was like, it's always going to be like a bunch of sex scenes. And I was like, okay, but maybe I'm wrong. So then we go further into the first sex scene of the film between the main character's wife in a flashback.
Yeah.
And then just kind of showing how he got to the Colosseum where he was chained up.
Yeah.
So it's basically meets this Legatus guy who's like a mega cunt. They're like, well, if you main character whose name shall not be revealed for dramatic purposes until later, if you blank, we call him blank. What should we call him?
Just call him Spartacus.
Oh well, that just fucking ruins the whole thing. But okay,
It's literally called Spartacus.
Okay.
I know it's not.
Did you have a point?
Not really. I was just.
You just look so disappointed, like someone had just snapped.
The train was going somewhere. I didn't know where it was going.
Yeah.
So
what you mean is like the character's actual name. He gets given the name Spark.
Yeah, it gives
his real name is never revealed.
Because it's dramatic. Spoilers for the first episode. Not like I'm going through the whole episode, but like so.
Now continues our dramatic reading by Callum.
With pages of notes.
There was a lot. So basically, like the Legatus is like, well, if you Spartacus and all your pals join and fight the Getae, the Getae, which is like some barbarian people, then like we'll help you, blah blah blah. Just join us and fight for us. And they're like, yeah, cool, right? And then it goes to like the transition of like them being it with the Romans and stuff. And like I grew super attached to the sweary man, as I named him, because I didn't really listen to like him talking, because all I heard was like, "Oh, you cock and your cunt! I'm gonna put your cock in your cunt, man! You cunt, you cock face cunt cock!" And I was like, "Whoa!" Like. Yeah. Like there was a swear every 3 seconds.
Like he permanently speaks like, "Oh, you like that's his tone of voice permanently."
Yeah, it was so aggressive.
Yeah. It's like, bloody Romans. Yeah.
Then he got like. Then they started kind of fighting and stuff, and like we're probably just gonna cut this out because this is all like flow of consciousness, right? Yeah. But then the Leggett has sex with his bae, so that's sex scene number 2.
Sure.
Yeah. So now this bit really annoyed me because it's like so the Leggett broke it. Legatus. Legman broke his promise to Spartacus, and they're like, then a big fight breaks out. They kill like all these other Roman soldiers,
which did not need to happen.
Which like that didn't need to happen. But then there's a Roman soldier who gets on his horse. It's on his horse, and he's trying to run away to inform everyone. Yeah. And they're like, Spartacus, stop him! So Spartacus launches his spear. It smashes the guy in the neck. It's like, phew! Thank God. If that got out. Oh, the Leggett's still alive. Let's leave him here, because there's no way this will come back to bite us at all. Let's leave the one guy with the power and the motivation to
the commander of the army.
Yeah, let's
leave him alive.
Leave him in the dirt, and there's no way this will come back to us.
I guess they just assumed that they'd be long gone and he'd be more interested in continuing the fighting against the barbarians.
After almost killing him
idiots,
and
right?
Yeah, maybe that's what they were assuming. I don't really know.
Like,
I think the script just made it so.
Yeah, it's like I just don't see the logic in it. And then so basically Spartacus comes back, saves his wife from some weird like barbarian people.
Yeah, which kind of didn't need to happen, but it's more just a showcase of his fighting prowess.
Yeah,
more blood, more gore. Yeah.
Which leads us to sex scene number 3.
Now this is the interesting one. What notes do you have on sex scene number 3?
All I see is block capitals on this sheet of paper.
Oh yeah,
and something scribbled out as well.
Oh yeah, I thought about talking about how the village was burnt, but then I was like,
all right.
Who cares about that bit? Okay, we're on sex scene number 3. Okay. I've wrote in capitals. What a surprise! Definitely did not see this coming when the Legate comes back to take Spartacus and his wife. Because oh my god! I also wrote they've got made slaves. Lol. Because it's so why would you leave him alive? Anyway,
I feel like someone's already invested.
Yeah, right. I mean,
it was
the memoirs.
It was fucking wild. Like I know this goes on for a while, but there's so much. There's so much to unpack.
We'll see what happens in editing.
So
just keep going.
Right. So then we get So then Spartacus gets made into a slave. They gets presented to be like a gladiator and stuff. Then we move on slowly to sex scene number 4. Can't even remember what it was. I just stopped caring who it was. I think it was the orgy. Like there was just there was just so many. Like I just
when they
got
get
overloaded.
To the Gladius, the Gladium, the house where they keep the gladiators.
The gladiator boys, right?
Was that sex scene or was that just foreplay?
No, like you know when they're
was that foreplay scene number 1?
Oh no, that's a different sex scene we're talking.
No, that was not a sex scene. It's a foreplay scene.
No, wait, is that the one where the wait? I'm talking about the one where like they're like here are the slaves that are going to go into the Colosseum tomorrow, and everyone's just like fucking in the background.
Yeah, around them there's a bunch of slaves doing it.
I can't.
I'm thinking of the two nice ladies. Yeah.
No, that's another sex scene.
No, it's a foreplay scene.
So then there's an amazing bit where like Spartacus is meant to die and it's like 5-on-1 fight, which is I really love that fight scene.
It's such a good fight scene.
I really liked it. And there's this bit where like one of the guys uses like the axe handle and smashes it against the back of Spartacus' head.
And a massive blood spot.
Massive proper comic
like
book
bigger than
kind
him.
of yeah. It's more blood than would be in his whole body comes out, which is another thing. Like, did he just have one massive blister on the back of his head?
You never know.
It's like, oh, it feels so much better.
So he managed to like beat like 5 of these guys, and then he survives and he's meant to get his freedom, but then like plot twist, and then he like has to become a gladiator basically. But it was very much like, you know, Dobby has earned a sock when he won. It's like Spartacus is free.
But there was
which leads me to episode 2. Spartacus goes to gladiator school, which is what this whole like this was like this whole like he met like the evil jock.
Yeah.
He met like
Crixus,
he met like the kid who like gave him some bread. Who's
Varro,
like who's like the little cripple guy. Like Sparkus has fallen into his little gang of misfits, and it's lovely.
It's all just it's actually just an 80s school movie that's like just wrapped up in like these naked men who fight each other to the death.
But we start episode 2.
It's like the Breakfast Club. They drew swords by the end of it.
The Gladiators Club.
So we start off. First 10 seconds, there's a sex scene in episode 2.
Yes.
So it's like, can we stop, please?
What number are we at?
We're at first of the episode,
fifth one, right?
fifth,
Yeah.
fifth overall.
Okay.
So basically, the Celtic guy played by, or I don't know if he's meant to be Celtic, but he's like you can't stop his
which
accent.
one?
It's the guy played by John Hannah.
Oh yeah, Batiatus.
Batiatus, yeah.
He's supposed to be Roman, but he sounds Scottish.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's meant to be like because
most of the cast are Australian, and they all have Australian
Like
accents.
New Zealand.
It was filmed in New Zealand, wasn't it?
Filmed in Australia, but there are New Zealanders in the cast as well.
I always think that's the hardest part about doing these Roman dramas, that no one
sounds like
Roman.
because they would be speaking Latin and a bunch of other dead languages. So
but I mean
it's weird that the
Latin
one
via like New Zealand.
random tangent, but the one weird thing is that no one can sound American. In these ancient swords and sandals films, like you can be British, you can be Australian, but you can never have an American accent.
Doesn't Spartacus in the original film have an American?
Well, they have like non-rhotic American accent, so they sound sort of posh. It's like not California American accent. It's like high-class American accent.
Yeah.
But no one ever has like a contemporary American accent in any of these films, but they have contemporary British accents.
It looks like Callum's gonna come
No, sorry, I just remembered.
This is a weird thing. Yeah.
I just remembered I wrote when the sweary man died in the end of the first episode, sweary man has died and also my interest in the show. But then it's fine because we enter what I've called the room of willies.
Yeah.
Goes into room with there's just dicks a flapping everywhere, which is very progressive. It's nice to see that it's not just naked ladies, there's naked gentlemen as well. But there's just everywhere. I was trying to look at somewhere on the screen, but there's just there flapping around.
I know, you try to look in the corner and a guy just floats over there. You just get away. This is the real reason Celia chose this.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
Continue, Carl.
There's so much.
You're so
There's
shaky.
so
You look
much.
like you're going to combust.
Sorry.
It's either the coffee.
It might be the coffee, actually.
Or it's the show.
But you just can't stop moving.
It's all this, that room full of willies. But then,
trembling.
Hides behind his pillow.
I'm like a chicken about to burst!
So the room full of willies.
So anyway.
Apparently the notes just stop here. And,
all the pages are stuck together.
It looks like he's just writing it with one hand. And it's his left at that.
So I was going to say I'm now more invested in the show, but that could be taken out of context.
Yeah.
But it's because they're all sweary men now.
Yeah.
They're all super sweary. I'm like, it's I got 10 times the amount of characters I actually cared about.
Yeah.
So then Sparkus has his first day at school, and then
That's not a
the Roman
Can we rephrase that,
they're
please?
all older, legally consenting males.
On their first day of college.
On their first day of
University.
Gladiator college,
University.
Whatever makes them sound not PG. But then they've already got the trope of here are the jocks who are the gladiators that
The
kind of beat up Sparkus, but they don't like him because he's not one of theirs. Yeah. And you've also got the guy who's trying to teach them with the whip, who's the disapproving teacher, is I'm not gonna get me to like you just yet, Spartacus. Okay, we need another 3 montages before that happens.
Yeah, because he builds them up, and then he's like, this guy stood against 5 men, and he's a piece of shit. And you're just like, oh Jesus, man, come on.
Also, this is the start of me kind of realizing that Spartacus is a bit of a cunt.
Yeah.
So. The teacher's this guy isn't shit, he's just like the rest of yous, typical. So then he turns round to, walk away. Then Spartacus tries to stab him in the back.
I didn't get the reasoning behind that.
He loves his sword at him.
Just prior to
refusing
to fight him.
Oh, yeah.
He just refused to fight him a moment ago, and then as soon as he turns his back, then tries to stab him, which I didn't get. Then we go on to my next scene, which is why this is totally a high school like musical kind of deal. Spartacus goes through the ancient, age-old Roman dilemma of who do you sit next to at lunch.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
he then finds his little blonde friend, and that's really nice as well.
Yeah.
We then go on. No, we don't get another sex scene. Actually, this was quite relaxed. After I feel like this was too much like focusing on the school aspect again. 2 seconds. There's so much here.
James hasn't said a word yet.
I'm just soaking in the fact that we're now talking about how Spartacus, what is it, Gods of the Arena or something?
Yeah. No, it's Blood and Sand. Gods of the Arena is the other
It's
season.
such a generic title. I will give it that. Like, I could give anything after that and it would sound legit. But anyway, how it's actually a high school drama, and I'm enjoying every minute of this. Yeah.
So we then get to Batiatus?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically like, yo, you want to find your wife again, Spartacus? Fight for me. If you do a good job, we'll get your wife back. And he's like, cool, I won't try to stab any more people in the back, right?
That's good. Yeah.
So, before this, sorry, you're gonna have to edit a lot of this. So we get to the second reason why Spartacus is also a cunt, because he fights the big jock bully guy as like a sparring thing to begin with, and then he then gets bested, then tries to throw his sword into the back of the jock when he's not looking again. The jock manages to block it, and then the sword flies off and then kills some innocent guy. So Spartacus has murdered an innocent already in this episode. He then gets really angry about his wife and then beats up what I thought was his friend who has the head tattoo that says fugitive.
Why do you think that was his friend?
Because they were like all the misfit toys at the beginning, you know.
Misfit toys.
It was like their first day of school, and they were like, "Oh, we're the outcasts, man," you know. And they like talked like twice. That's enough for a friend for me. So then there's a big final gladiator exam where they both have to go up on this like short little plank thing, and then they have to fight. And if they either tie or they win the fight, then they become a gladiator. Yeah. So then he has to fight the jock again, and this is like the big final exam of gladiator school. So then the jock's kind of beating the shit out of him until Spartacus again is a cunt and cheats by using his wife's little fabric thing
He
that I
doesn't
picked
cheat.
up earlier.
He just
He
uses
the fabric
everything
thing
in his
to trip
his
him up.
arsenal to get him.
Cheating.
I wouldn't
is what
say
it's
that's
called.
Right.
It's-
I feel like you've got some bad beef with Spartacus. What did he do to you?
Well, there's a lot of high school stuff being brought up, guys. But yeah, it was just like, then he tripped him up.
He throws him off the thing.
Yeah, well, tripped him up. Didn't throw him. He just tripped him up with the thing.
Well, that counted as a throw. Anyway, continue.
Okay,
Let's not debate
he fights Dirty to win, and then he wins, and scene ends.
He's a gladiator now.
He's a gladiator. Spartacus don't like him.
But do you like the show?
I don't know.
All of those fucking notes. You don't know.
It's like 4 pages of notes.
He's like, in summary, inconclusive.
You can't give us a fucking answer after all of
No.
this.
You've literally just went through both episodes in detail.
It was wild, but I don't like Spartacus, but all the people who were really sweary, they were really cool. Don't know if I'll watch it again. I don't know if my mind could take it.
Okay.
So James, what are your thoughts on Spartacus after Callum?
James does the Ben Affleck thing where he's like, I agree.
I feel like I've just watched it again. Again, quite honestly. But with a weird 80s Breakfast Club twist to it. That's been introduced by Callum. I don't think I'll ever be able to watch this fucking series the same again.
It's like Crixus will have like a bomber jacket on.
Just at the end of the first season, Don't You Forget About Me starts playing, and Spartacus just like brings up his fucking hand, and it just fades to black.
Callum is so impressed with himself right now.
I really like it. It's like Zack Snyder esque.
Meets Breakfast Club.
Yeah, fuck off, man. You had your chance. You fucking wasted like 30 minutes of our fucking life each Okay, we're moving on.
I had to waste 2 hours watching it.
Oh, that's a comeback. I mean, Salita.
I mean, I think you enjoyed it because you've got 4 pages.
That's true.
I mean, people make books about World War II, but I don't think they enjoy that.
He's got to get there.
Well, no, it's a good show, and it's melodramatic. It's got just the right elements. It's cheesy in all the right ways, and it tickles your violent itch. And doesn't tickle the pickle sometimes. But,
well, the amount of sex scenes is still tickle something.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. It's definitely not something you would watch with your grandmother.
No.
Unless you've got a very
open-minded
grandmother.
Very sexually active
grandmother.
grandmother.
I mean, someone out there, you can watch it with your grandmother. Don't let us stop you. But, it's
Let's
up to
not
you.
knock
I'm going to knock on that door. But no, I do like it. And I've watched it before. Loved it. I only watched the first season, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the next guy.
Yeah, the casting change is jarring.
Yeah.
I feel like it changes the tone of like
the
rhythm.
Yeah, the guy.
There's loyalty. There's
the
loyalty
guy.
there.
I mean,
I kind of wonder if I'd like the other guy because I really didn't like this one.
Because the thing is, like, story-wise, I won't spoil it for Callum, but like the other seasons go in a very different direction.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like Spartacus, played by Andy Whitfield in this season, completes an arc and basically kind of stays in that place for the other seasons.
Yeah.
And so Liam McIntyre, who's the actor who takes over, kind of jumps in to play a character who's kind of already had the legwork of their initial arc done by a different actor. So it's kind of like a thankless job that he's jumping into.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I have to find my feet with a script which kind of doesn't let the character find his feet, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because the big hurdle's already over.
Yeah. Because it's like Andy Whitfield had time to find the character as the character was finding his place in the show as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Liam McIntyre, in terms of what he gets on paper, is like, now this character is already set in stone of like, this character is already this way. And he has to kind of do his own version of it and figure out his own version of it while trying to embody someone who's already supposed to have found themselves and found their footing.
Yeah, I think
so
he does it really well.
He does do a good job. It does take a few episodes to get used to him, but the second guy does do very well in the other seasons.
It's like what I'm saying, like there's a change of tone, there's like a change of pace
Yeah.
to Spartacus himself, but it's like it's a good one.
Yeah.
So you might like it.
Doesn't go full throttle the entire time.
Throttle?
I was going to let that slide.
Yeah, same. That's why I was laughing. I was like,
Throttle.
Sorry guys, Spartacus is fried now.
I think we need a slight break after that. I'm going to go to the toilet.
So in summary...
I think I just did in summary.
Yeah, wasn't that the summary?
I feel like Callum covered
Well, in terms
the
of like,
summary.
so would we watch it more? I've already seen it all.
Well,
so
you've seen it.
Yes.
Callum, I don't think he knows at this moment.
I feel like I
Callum
could make
would-
a set of books out of
Callum,
that.
would you watch more?
That's quite a dangerous question to ask him. Like,
That's such a loaded question for me. Like, I don't know if I'd need like a lot
minute?
more coffees.
You're already
was-
during.
I'm fucking amped.
Well, so
if you continue on though, we can anticipate how you link the second season to the Goonies. This is our time.
So that's the thing. Now he's going to go and do that.
Yeah, I know.
Watch as
And
Spartacus
he's gonna
conquers
come
the
back
Indigo
with a
League
book
with his
now.
Pikachu.
yeah, so Callum's kind of take on it is 404 not found kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
error.
just-
Error loading.
I could make a whole show just talking about Spartacus.
So James.
I watched the first season, but I'm not going to watch the rest because I
You're
don't
not gonna
like
watch
the
it.
other guy.
You're not going to
That's
give it another
fair.
go?
I suggest giving it another go.
I suggest giving it another go. Because there is a prequel season as well, which gets you used to Andy Whitfield not being there.
His face is saying no right
Yeah.
now.
Just like the first guy so much, and I miss him.
Fair
And
enough.
genuinely, like, just we're all joking here, but I feel it was such a damn shame.
It was a real
he
damn
died.
shame. Yeah.
I think, like, absolutely would have.
Yeah.
you know.
Because I feel like
binge
that
the
because that was like a star-making role.
Yeah.
Honestly, like because I
And he
always
was
said
on track.
yeah, because I always said if they made a Mass Effect movie, he's like perfect Commander
Yeah,
Shepard
right.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Like I know
So-
I've been joking about like as his
Yeah.
character being a cunt, but he did an amazing job.
Yeah, he's
Like,
Well, that's
brilliant.
the thing.
sure,
Like,
yeah.
it's not him as a person. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
his character.
yeah.
And you'll like him more if you watch more episodes. He stops throwing swords at people as much.
Okay, as long as
Yeah.
you stop stabbing people in the back and cheating.
Yeah.
Which I feel like for a hero is not a thing you should do.
Yeah. Well, it's his arc, you see. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the first season though.
Yeah, first season's great. I do enjoy the other seasons, but the first season is the strongest.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as it's not like a massive step down in quality or anything, but the first season is like the most tight, I feel, writing wise.
Out of watching everything again, out of Dirk Gently and Spartacus is the one I was like, I could watch the rest of this right now.
Yeah, yeah.
The rest of season 1 right now. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
See, if I wrote 5 pages about Dirk Gently.
But
Well, the thing is, it does have a drinking game as well. As
Oh, yeah,
Callum
Spartacus.
really likes his sweary guys.
Spartacus has an absurd drinking game that
The
we've
drinking
played, which
game
is
is
like drink every
crazy.
time there is blood splatter, every time someone swears, every time there's nudity. And
Oh my
it will
God.
it will kill
We
you.
tried doing it at the flat.
Yeah. It happens in clusters though, as a drinking game, where it's like
Sure.
you'll have like a couple of scenes that go by where you're like, oh, not too
You're
much,
not
and then
doing
it'll happen
anything.
like all at once
So it's
in
just
like the
like
space of a
shot,
minute.
shot.
Yeah.
Jesus. How did you survive?
I don't-
didn't, I
by
don't
only
think we
watching
did.
one episode.
that was it for the night.
Yeah. I think like you lose dexterity in your arms by the time you're about halfway through the episode, so it's like, but it's great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so that's Spartacus for now. Okay, so now we're on to James's show.
thank you, Ron. Okay, so I'm going to paint the picture for everybody listening to this right now, and all three of you, wonderful people.
Oh, yay.
So, grab a coffee or a hot chocolate, wrap up with a significant other or someone hoping to be, and enjoy what I will absolutely say is the best reality show I have ever seen. Hajimashite, watashi wa James desu.
Oh.
This is Terrace House.
I don't want to be here.
It's so theatrical, mate.
Konbanwa.
I'm already sold.
No.
So am I. James, did you just host that show?
Terrace House
Terrace House.
Is not paying me for this.
is not like you can in the future.
They probably should
Netflix
after
give
that.
me money. But Terrace House is I'm gonna lose everybody here. Love Island, bringing it back in Japan with actual decent human beings, with 3 females and 3 males. All get put into this wonderful apartment, and it's so good. The way I describe it's like a slice of life. That's just it is just shot so beautifully as well. I've never seen a show like a reality show shot so well, and it's I don't know, it's just so good. And this next season's coming out soon. And me and my girlfriend are very excited to watch it. And just so everyone knows, I hate reality TV. Mm-hmm. And I got into this. I got roped into it. And I can't stop now. I am too far in.
The sheer passion on display here, by the way. Like, this is just going to be audio, but I wish you could see just how into it James is.
I'm just gonna move on. Callum.
No.
You're saying no, but you still have notes.
I have, well, because there are 6 people,
Yeah.
and because it's Japanese, like, I needed to get a hold of names. I didn't want to be like, there's the second girl who entered, or the third girl, or the guy. I really like this. Like, I did not expect... I've also got it down as, like, Japan's Love Island, except... You know, the people are likable and, like, normal, and you don't want to punch them in the face half the time. Like, yeah, it was really good. Like, the whole setup was, like, 3 girls, 3 guys. They live in, like, a lovely apartment in Tokyo for, like, a month, is it?
It's a month to start off with. I know. It's, oh god, how long is it? It's 19 episodes, each one's a week. So it's 19 weeks.
Oh, right.
But then...
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Is there a twist down the line?
But wait.
Okay, for
There's
real.
more! Netflix, halfway through, saves the day and adds another, I don't know, like 20 weeks or something.
Wow.
Oh my
To the mix. Doubling Terrace House, Boys and Girls in the City's length.
So,
And
like,
I love it.
there's a couple
He's
things.
addicted.
There's a few things I didn't get. Like, is there like a prize, or is it
No.
just they just live there and it's just documented?
It's just documented. They still go about doing their work days. It's just everybody has a completely different idea of why they're there. A lot go because they want to find somebody, but there's a lot of people who go because there's a moment that they have in the building that gives them the inspiration that they need to do a project, which I find wonderful. And then if they follow up with that project, you can then see it. And the new members will go and see it. So maybe it'll be a new restaurant that's opened up, an art exhibit, anything. But it's got that kind of love to follow up. Where are they after, and where did that passion lead? And I don't know, there's something really wholesome about that. About just sitting down and just watching these nice people interact with each other. Sure, there are some times where they will argue, but it's just done in such a way that is so decent. And you don't see that in TV a lot, because a lot of the time human instinct is just to play up when a camera's around. Not here.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this.
I feel like you're gonna shed a tear.
I know, it's like your tone of voice and everything. Like, compared to like talking about all the other TV shows, it's now like this really sincere, like...
I feel like you should have a podium in front of you.
Yeah.
It's like you're accepting like a Man of the Year speech or something, like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
I'm fucking nailing this. Just to say, I didn't think I'd do this well. Just continue.
I mean, you can't see, but he is sitting on a pile of money that Netflix have given him.
Netflix have just given me my laundry bag. It's just got money symbol on it.
I have to echo like a lot of what you said. Like, it's really wholesome and it just feels real. I want the guy who plays baseball, Makoto. I want him to be my friend because oh my god, like he seems like the chillest dude. Like, it was just really it was really good. That there's some weirdness. Like, I felt a little bit grating the commentary, because there's like a commentary team who comments on what's happened in the house and stuff.
Yeah.
And I felt that a bit grating at the beginning, because like, again, because it's Japanese, like there are comments that Japanese people make that like obviously to the rest of the world, there's that kind of cultural barrier where it's like, that doesn't seem appropriate.
To those guilos out there,
I don't know what that means.
It's white people.
Oh, okay.
Everyone literally just stopped and looked at James and was like, huh?
I'm just wondering,
there's a couple little just gems throughout the show, like where the girls are choosing what beds they want, and they're so organized, and they do like little rock paper scissors, and in the first 5 seconds they've done it, and then the guys are like, oh, do you want that one? They just take so much long. They're just not as organized. There's a guy called Yuki who is a tap dancer who grated on me, and like I felt so vindicated, because by the end the commentary team were taking the piss out of him as well. And I was like, yes, because he's like a tap dancer, and like that's his thing. But he came across as like really misogynist. I don't know if it's like
because he came across really comments going like, "Oh, the women can handle the cooking."
Yeah,
but he said it like 3 times,
and I was like, the misogynistic tap dancer is the really niche market to be in.
Yeah, because he said like, "Oh, the women can sort this out," and people were like, "Ha ha, no." And then he said it again, and they were like, "Ha ha," no. And then he said it at dinner like the 3rd time, and they were just like, "Ha ha," and it's like, dude, stop. It's like the women aren't gonna handle the cooking. It's like you got to do some of yourself.
When Mako and Mizuki as well, just another lovely little moment. They're like kind of chatting about baseball and stuff, and kind of getting cute and cozy together. And I'm like, oh.
Barista.
Yeah, the commentary just referred to her as a barista, which was hilarious. The commentary grew on me as the show went. I don't know the guy's name, but the guy with the glasses is hilarious.
He is
so funny.
He's so good.
He's amazing. But there was a great bit where they were talking about Makoto and Mizuki, like kind of flirting and stuff. And they kept saying it was like very late 90s vibe, and then they were all laughed, and the 14-year-old just sat there confused. I thought that was incredible. Yeah, I mean, what did you think, James, about the 14-year-old commentary person?
So at the start, because this is where I started with Terrace House. So I was a bit confused by that as well, but it's because of the fact...
Sorry, say that again.
Okay, so when I started watching Terrace House, I was a bit confused by the fact that there is, a 14-year-old just randomly kind of plopped in there, it's like... Oh. But I think it's just because it's, at that point, by the time it's picked up by Netflix, there's such a fan following in Japan that they wanted to then include a different angle, and every single commentator is a different kind of representation. The commentators are you, and they're kind of all voicing their own opinions, and if you're watching it alone, it's almost like your group of friends pausing it after a while, and then just chatting, and then just getting all... Do you want to mute that?
Hang on. I gotta mute this. Hang on. It's my fucking work
fucking
tell me things.
I'm spilling gold out.
We're losing daylight!
Sorry. Go again.
Okay. So, I'm going to go back to the 14-year-old bit.
Fine. Yeah.
Right. So... The fact that they've got a 14-year-old there is kind of just placing somebody else. It's a different demographic. It's a younger demographic. And it's kind of... later on, they'll say stuff like, oh, yeah, everybody in my school's talking about this part. And whatever, and it's just that kind of different angle for the viewers who are maybe still in school. But yeah, you have a bunch of them are comedians. There's a girl who... actually opens up. She's an 80s pop star in Japan. She's cool as fuck. You just get some people who are like funnier, and then some people are a bit more sincere, and there's like there's one who's like very cute, like and it just works really well, I think. And kind of they all voice it, and you're just there like soaking it all, and you're like, it's almost therapeutic, them talking about it, and it breaks up the monotony of the reality TV.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because the first season doesn't have it. The actual first season of Terrace House I've watched, and it doesn't have the commentary, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
This is like the way it needs to be.
Because it's sort of like the commentary bit is like the equivalent of the chair in Big Brother. But rather than the contestants doing it, it's kind of even seems wrong to use the word contestant because it's kind of not.
Yeah.
But like, it's sort of like it is like it gives it a break and gives it some introspection, but also like because you're right in sort of like they sort of say what you're thinking and they kind of or audience surrogates kind of thing, But speaking of Brother, I really like it as well, where it's sort of like every which way reality TV show kind of usually goes wrong, this show avoids completely. Because the idea behind reality TV is that it's supposed to be real, where it's like, unexpected things can happen, and it's like supposed to get like ordinary people and like see what happens, all that kind of stuff. But so often what happens with it is that it becomes staged, but also be like the people they get are deliberately the most sycophantic morons you could ever find.
Yeah, like Big Brother deliberately goes out and finds people.
Yeah, and even like Love Island, it's all these fucking lunkheads and idiots, and it's just these, it's just like the worst kind of people to like...
There was a doctor on one of them.
But it's like they deliberately find
Dr.
like...
Pepper.
They deliberately find like the worst kind of people for big personalities to get like entertainment out of it, and it's just sort of... It's kind of so the audience can sort of sit back and ridicule them. It's almost like a kind of... the modern day equivalent of like a circus freak show almost, of like, look at these people, how can they be like this, can you believe these people are like this kind of thing. And like it's all like for ego and for like people's 15 minutes of fame, or it's for prize money or all this kind of stuff, and it's just sort of like selfish in a way, where it's like selfish on the networks or the channels kind of behalf, where they're just sort of like prodding these people to kind of make them sing and dance. It's sort of selfish from the contestants' point of view for the reasons why they're going on the show and all this kind of stuff. No one on Terrace House is like that. It's like there's no ego at all, and it's sort of like it does what reality TV should do, where it actually gets something real, and it's like there's no prize money, there's no competitive aspect for it. It's just people getting together because they want to have a go at it and they want to see what it's like, kind of living with each other, and sort of they're interested in each other.
When you said nice. Japanese, like it was a Japanese show, a Japanese reality show, like my head immediately went to all the horrifying images of Japanese TV.
Probably little snippets you see on Facebook. All
very glad. Like it's probably one of the most wholesome shows I've ever watched.
Yeah. Personally, then, what did you think?
I really liked it. Yeah. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. Where, it's just good reality TV. Where it does what reality TV should do, and it's easily better. Yeah, probably the best reality TV show I've seen as well. Yeah. What about you, Leah?
I hate reality TV. But this was like good. There was a couple of like, I don't like reality TV for like the cringy moments. It's just like no, but there was like a good couple of them in this show, especially when they were all coming in and meeting each other. And it was just like, is that someone new coming? And then the pool scene where like he's making a comment about the blue bikini and he just keeps going, and I'm just like, you just need to stop, please. Stop.
See, I love cringe as well, so like I enjoyed those bits.
But like it was good. Like you said, it is like reality TV, but done right without like having to stage stuff or like script. Like it is really good.
Because so many other shows are staged. Like The Apprentice is like so obviously staged and things like that, where it's like, if you just think about it logically, of like, well, they couldn't do that without doing multiple takes and things like that, and it's just like the
camera angles and everything.
Where it's like, if that was a reverse angle, there should be a cameraman there, but there isn't, so it means they must have done multiple takes, kind of thing, But it's like here there isn't any of that. It's like the cameras, it all makes sense, like in terms of how they're getting the coverage and things. So it all just rings true and rings real and genuine and sincere, it's just better.
Yeah.
It's how it should be, kind of thing.
Love Island, take notes.
No, they're way past redemption. I think they've got their market in a way. Okay. Here's a question. Would you watch more?
Oh, 100%. I genuinely like this, like, because I watched Babylon 5 and then Spartacus. And I needed to come down from Spartacus. And this was honestly like therapeutic for me.
Just after everything.
It was incredible. I actually might go home and watch this, like maybe even tonight. Makoto was my favourite, just in terms of this season so far. I don't understand how none of the boys like Yuriko, because I think she's like the cutest one.
She is.
But because I was gonna say it's
Yuriko's the medical student.
It's the one that no one seems to like for some weird reason.
She is adorable.
It's all the barista, man. She is the rock. She is reliable. I'm not going to go there. Anyway,
girlfriend's like,
you will see both sides to everyone as well. So there will be some people who, no spoilers or anything, because Terrace House, good content, but they're humans and they've got flaws, and you do see them come through, and sometimes they cause problems, just like real life, because newsflash, it is, and it's good to see that. And there are even your favorite character will like come along, and there will be something there will be like, and you might even be a bit frustrated, because you'll then be invested in that person. This is just an example, by the way, and be like, why is he doing that? He's an
already
idiot.
Formed a strong imaginary friendship with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Heartbroken like that.
But there's some people throughout the season where because what happens with Terrace House is there's no eliminations. They just, when they want to leave, they announce it. They say, guys, I'm leaving Terrace House.
Oh, right. That's really interesting, actually.
And that changes the dynamic of the show, because after they leave, somebody else gets brought in. And it's it's like a Rubik's cube.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like really weird having like they've all established their friendships, then someone leaves and it's like, hey, stranger.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I can handle that cringe.
Oh no, it's really good though. In this show, it changes almost the feeling of the show, and what happened there?
Sure, she touched my foot with her toe.
Oh.
And then I went to go and stomp and you'd moved it.
Looks like we've got our own terrace house, guys.
I just felt like weird toes on my foot. I was like,
weird toes.
They were like. I won't dig a hole any further.
Yeah, that's probably best.
We like to have fun in the studio.
It just cuts to like the Western audience just watching us like, eh? Ron's being a dick. He should never have said that. Never comment on women's toes. But yeah, it's cool because it just changes the dynamic of the show when somebody else is brought on board. And it's actually really interesting, and it spices it up so that it's not just the same old bland, oh, it's these people doing this stuff again, oh my god. And it's cool. And each episode has a different chapter. It's like books. So you get a little kind of paste. There's I can't remember. The meat incident is the title of one. And then you find out what the meat incident is throughout the throughout the episode.
And it might not be what you expect.
Also, there is a couple's part inside the building, so if people get together, they can basically go and be in that couple's part.
Oh right.
And they can sleep together.
Imagine being like, imagine being on the bottom bunk while something's going on. Like, in a normal bedroom.
Right. So it's even respectful about that, and the cameras are all turned off, I think, after 9:00.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they don't show anything after that point.
Okay.
Plus, they don't obviously show anything sexual either. Like, you know, in terms of like in the bedroom, it's like, no, let's go. Like, you know, like any other reality TV show would have a blast.
It just goes and zooms in on the horrified 14-year-old's face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All the other commentators are like, He's like,
Mom! But yeah, it's something I really love, but I understand why other people would not want to watch the rest. Rowan, would you watch the rest?
So yeah, because I already told you about this. I don't think I will.
Yeah.
Even though it is, I appreciate that it exists, and it is easily the best reality TV show I've ever seen. I can't see myself sitting down to watch it unless you were already watching it. If that makes sense.
Well, that's entirely possible, Rowan.
Yeah, no.
You're
It's
just
like
leaving them open,
if it, yeah,
like
but
just
it's
be like in
if
the
it's
living room,
on,
like, oh look, it's on. Sit down.
But like, if it's on, I'll watch it. I'll be alright with that. But I don't think I could see myself putting it on myself, just because in terms of shows that I want to invest my time in, Terrace House is not the kind of thing I usually do that with. But that's a general rule for just reality TV in general. You know, the only one I've ever like sought out by choice is this TV show about martial arts, which I liked, but it only had one season. And
was that a reality show?
It was, yeah. It was really good. I could bring up another show if we want, but you know, yeah. In general, it's like I really appreciate that it exists. I did enjoy it while I was watching it, but I think I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I don't like because of the cringe. I can't handle it. It's like. That the like I keep going to go back to the pool scene. It's just like I actually like I was watching it on my computer and I was like headset off, walk away to the kitchen, come back. I saw that still going on. I need to go. It's like I can't.
Okay, general thoughts on it though.
Like I liked it because it was like proper reality. It's like not staged or anything. It's like kind of what it should be, and like take notes other people that are going to do reality shows. Like it's really well done, and especially like turning off the cameras at 9 p.m. and everything. It's like it's respectful. It's like it's not like the Western culture where like I think there's been incidents on like Love Island of stuff happening, and then it's like I think people that have came out of reality TV shows like with mental health and everything like going down.
The suicide rate of people coming out of Love Island, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's
bigger
fucked up.
than you'd think.
Yeah. And it's just
Yeah, it's
like
messed
because of like the stuff that gets shown, and it's just like that's not nice. It's
Yeah.
morals
Everything's
at the
put
end
on
of the day.
display, but it's also certain parts which obviously
again
skew
it's
to make
that's
it look
because
bad.
again that's on the part of the people running those shows where they just bring on their contestants just to prod them and sort of make them dance in a way, you know, which
It's
is not
cruel.
nice.
Whereas with
cruel.
this, it's not. It's
Yeah.
like they still go about their everyday life if they're at uni. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like that's a nice aspect. It's just like you're going to a house, you're meeting new people, might have friendships, relationships, people you don't like. Like you're kind of like there's like anything that can happen.
Also, I forgot to mention this before. It's a
Okay.
great little spin. A couple of weeks after each episode is, filmed, it's brought out. They see themselves on TV a couple of weeks after, so they see the episode that you saw.
Like they
those
watch it
weeks
in
after.
the house.
They can do so. I mean, it's completely up to themselves.
Oh.
But they can go onto a computer and watch it. And a lot of the times they will. And if there's been somebody who's maybe been a dick and they watch it back with everything in context, they're like,
Oh,
been a
interesting.
dick.
Yeah, so it's like
Interesting,
self-reflection, like growing as a person.
yeah.
I
And
like that a lot.
It's
Yeah.
really good, but they give it a good amount of space before they do it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
a good wee while. But everything that's said, it's not like they can say anything behind another person's back. They don't really do it too much anyway. But everything that is said, it can come back around.
Yeah.
And it does. So
Interesting.
that's a really cool, interesting angle that I've not really seen in anything else. They've, I think, always held out and just filmed it all and then start putting it out.
Yeah. Well, a lot of reality TV shows are predicated on isolating everyone from things and like having them do a thing and then return to the knowledge, you know?
Absolutely. How I would sell this TV show to anybody starting out is if you want to watch something that just feels like a nice warm blanket, and I mean, obviously there are some moments that are cringy, but that is human. We all have them. If we are introduced to a bunch of new people, there's going to be a bunch of awkward moments, and it's all truthful. And it's something where you can you can watch it, it's truthful, and it's also a nice thing that it is truthful. They don't have to lie about it. And it just kind of puts a bit of humanity back in us. That watching the news and everything, you just get so depressed, and you can just chuck on some Terrace House after that, and just be like,
and breathe.
And just breathe. Yeah. And I am happy that it's the last one on this list because
leaves on a high.
It just leaves it on this nice peaceful high.
Yeah, thank Christ we didn't despise.
I mean, it's done a similar thing after your epic chronicling. Let's all calm down.
I feel like
because that's exactly what it was. Like I watched Spartacus and I was like, ah! And then I watched Terrace House and it was the most chill, wholesome thing I've watched in a while.
Okay, so to summarise, Babylon 5. It's one of my favourite shows ever. Callum, I think you said you were interested in a bit watching more?
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's a bit, like, I mean, I don't know if you want to, like, just go around and, like, each person says the one they're most likely to watch.
Sure, yeah, you could do that,
I mean, it's down to you.
Yeah,
like,
sure. Yeah,
you guys
so,
are the brains.
in terms of what... Well, I've seen everything.
No, I mean, if you had to choose one that wasn't your own...
That I had to watch right now, I'd probably go for Spartacus.
Because
it's fun.
Madman.
I was gonna say, like, you can't say Spartacus. You've already seen it.
Yeah, but I could watch it again.
What about you?
Yours.
Dirk Gently, yeah.
I loved it.
Good class.
What about you, Cal?
I would probably go for Terrace House. Honestly, like that was therapeutic.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and James?
I'd go with Spartacus. I think, like...
It's a fun watch.
Carl's
like, you madman!
With
define fun.
with Babylon 5, it's kind of like, it could go somewhere, and it's like, but I don't know where it could go in a couple of different directions, and like with the first episode I was like, yeah, it's really cool and stuff, but I've seen it in a lot of things, and with Dirk Gently it's good, but it's a weird start, and I don't know, Spartacus is just that kind of straightforward, here's the plot. In the first 2 episodes, the rest is kind of arena, kind of political naked men. And I mean,
that's what
it
you're well
works.
keen on, yeah.
It works, you know. But there's naked women as well. There's fun for all the
Just
family.
to clarify.
In case you didn't
It's straightforward. And I
it's
like it for
it's
that.
like it wears itself on its sleeve.
Yeah.
Spartacus does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, personally, my prediction is I do because I know where Babylon 5 goes. I do think you'd like it. That's just my thing.
If there's anything to take for anyone listening, you will like Babylon 5.
Because I got you into Battlestar Galactica, I am reasonably confident that you'd like Babylon 5.
Well, I mean, maybe. But everybody listening, I mean, if we're on YouTube or whatever,
we'll be on YouTube.
Yeah, then post down below. What would your what was your favorite one? If you have seen them, if not, which one is one that you would like to watch out of our descriptions and memoirs, 3 pages long? Because I'm curious. I'm curious what comes out from this. And I think a lot of people will have seen some of these shows. But yeah.
And any other underappreciated TV shows, comment those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always looking for some gems that are just out of reach. You know, there's a lot of them. A lot of TV shows these days.
Exactly.
Golden Age.
Congrats to Leah for suggesting the one that most people want to see as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys want to plug?
YouTube
channels?
Well, you can find me on my own YouTube channel, which is just my name, Rowan J. Coleman. I talk about Star Trek and other Babylon 5 and sci-fi bollocks. Slater, where could we find you?
Twitch.tv/StropTV.
And what kind of thing do you stream?
I stream Rainbow Six Siege.
Lots of Rainbow Six.
Yeah, lots of Rainbow Six. And sometimes The Sims, because we all like to put things in a pool and...
and watch it squirm. Yeah.
No, they can actually get out the pool now without actually having
Oh, can they?
ladders.
What is even the fucking point?
I know,
Yeah.
but no. Mainly Siege.
Yeah. James, I guess
you can find me at my address, which I'm not going to have out because of all those creepy people out there. Most of you are lovely.
You've been in some of my YouTube videos, I guess.
Yeah, you can find me at my Instagram, Kryptonian Cape, all one word. And I'll post every time we are doing a podcast, and I'll just have a group of the people and have just a little tidbit about what we're doing that day.
Cool. And can we find you anywhere, Callum?
I'm off the grid, man.
You can find Callum in other episodes of this show that we'll make.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, who knows, wild card.
I mean, with all these pieces of paper, I'm wondering if we're even going to see you again. I think that you're going to be like one of these, you're going to be in one of these crime dramas that you're watching, Selena. Where did he go?
It began with Spartacus.
Spartacus murder spree.
We found his 3rd piece of paper. That was all we found.
I feel like if we ever do this again, there's going to be more notes.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, if there's more Spartacus, there definitely will be.
We could do a whole spin-off show of just you watching Spartacus.
I might have to.
Just to deal with it.
Just every episode.
To get your thoughts out.
Callum versus
Spartacus. Yeah.
The series.
That'd be fun. Well, hope you enjoyed. This has been the TV Swap. I've been Rowan.
I'm Callum.
This has been James.
And Lita.
And have a good one. And as always, live long and prosper.